This is an MJA Inc. Investigations warning. This MJA podcast is rated E for explicit. Some details of a case and language used on this podcast might be upsetting to some of our listeners. Listeners' discretion is advised. And for those who are still with us, kick back and enjoy the show. Welcome to our MJA podcast. This series, Cases from the Deep Freezer, Episode 8, Part 10, 12 Unsolved Cold Cases. We will be going back into time to report what is known about these unsolved cold cases. These cases will cover unsolved homicides, missing persons, and the Does. The Murder Accountability Project claims from 1980 to 2019 there are over 260,000 unsolved homicides in the United States. The NCIC reports that over 600,000 people are reported missing each year. Some adults and children are found quickly alive and well, but several thousands remain missing. It has been reported that there are over 40,000 sets of human remains that are unidentified. As a nation, law enforcement has to do a lot better. Good evening, my name is Mark, and I will be your host for tonight's show. Joining me later will be Olivia, our co-host. Olivia and I will profile 12 unsolved cold cases from the deep freezer. Please join us as we turn the page back into time. We are coming to you from Morrisonville, New York, located in the Adirondack Mountains. Case 1. It was on February 25th, 1957 is when the naked body of a white male child was found inside a cardboard box wrapped in a plaid blanket in Fox Chase neighborhood of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Case 2. It was on August 1st, 1980 is when 32-year-old Mja Theme, a black female, went missing and vanished without a trace from Fairfield, Alabama. Case 3. It was on April 20th, 1989 is when a decomposing body of an 18 to 60-year-old white male was discovered with several gunshot wounds under a bridge in Beebe, Arkansas. Case 4. It was on February 24th, 1987 is when 10-year-old Linda Weldy, a white female, went missing and vanished without a trace from LaPorte, Indiana. On March 17, 1987, the lifeless body of 10-year-old Linda Weldy was discovered outside of Kingsbury, Indiana, who was a victim of a homicide. Case 5. It was on August 19, 1975, is when 66-year-old Fred Lincoln Guest, a white male, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Cedar Grove, California. Case 6. It was on August 10, 1999 is when a 30 to 45-year-old female skeletal remains with the race being unknown was discovered in a secluded rural area on Road 610 outside of Walsenburg, Colorado. Case 7. It was on February 6, 1978 is when 30-year-old Stephen Bender and 29-year-old Michael Horness were found murdered in the lodge of the Wing Hollow Ski Resort in the town of Allegheny, located in western New York. Case 8. It was on November 14, 1970 is when 35-year-old Mary Margaret Cook, a white female, went missing and vanished without a trace from Highland City, Florida. Case 9. It was on March 23, 1995, the skeletal remains of an unknown male, maybe between the ages of 49 to 65 years old, with the race being unknown, was located in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Case 10. It was on February 20th, 1986, is when 13-year-old Teresa Ann Woods, a white female, went missing and vanished without a trace from Oak Hill, West Virginia. On June 5th, 1986, the skeletal remains of Teresa Woods were discovered. Case 11. It was on June 30th, 1979 is when 16-year-old Robert Keck, a white male, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Coopersburg, Pennsylvania. Case 12. It was on May 8, 1982 is when the skeletal remains of a 45 to 65-year-old white female was discovered off a country road near Highway 78 and Interstate 90 and 94 in Caledonia, Wisconsin. Let's take a pause for the cause, and when we return, Olivia will be on the line. and we will profile 12 unsolved cold cases from the deep freezer. Be back in a moment.
You are not real. The reality of an observable entity designated by the term everyday life stands a good chance of remaining hypothetical for many people. You are not real. Indeed, the most striking feature of the present group for research on everyday life is obviously not the fact that it has not yet discovered anything. You are not, but the fact that the very existence of everyday life has been disputed from its very inception. And increasingly so with each new session of this conference. You are not real. Most of the talks we have heard so far have been by people who are not at all convinced that everyday life exists. You are not real. Since they haven't encountered it anywhere. You are not real. A group for research on everyday life with this attitude is comparable in every way to an expedition in search of the Yeti. You are not real. You are not real, which might similarly come to the conclusion that its core was merely a popular hoax.
Welcome to our MJ podcast, this series, Cases from the Deep Freezer, Episode 8, Part 10, 12 Unsolved Cold Cases. Let's dig into these 12 unsolved cold cases from the Deep Freezer. Welcome to the state of Pennsylvania. The Murder Accountability Project and Project Cold Case reports there are over 8,409 unsolved homicides in the state of Pennsylvania. Case 1. Welcome to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Unsolved homicide. It was on February 25, 1957, is when the naked body of a white male child was found inside of a cardboard box wrapped in a plaid blanket in the Fox Chase neighborhood of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The naked body found in the box was found in the woods off the road in the Fox Chase neighborhood. The crime scene was combed over and over again by 270 police academy recruits. In return, they discovered a man's blue corduroy cap, a child's scarf, and a man's white handkerchief with the letter G in the corner. But all of these clues led nowhere. The dead boy's fingerprints were taken, and police at first were optimistic that he would soon be identified. However, no one came forward with any useful information. The young male child went unidentified and became known as the boy in the box. It was estimated that the boy in the box was around 4 years old and appeared to have been cleaned and freshly groomed. The body of the 4-year-old boy was also severely malnourished. The boy in the box had suffered extensive physical attacks before his death with multiple bruises on his body. Investigators believe the cause of death was homicide by blunt force trauma. In 1998, the boy in the box was exhumed for the purpose of extracting DNA, which was obtained from a tooth. On March 21, 2016, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released a forensic facial reconstruction of the victim and added him into their database. The body was then exhumed yet again in 2019 19 to retrieve additional DNA samples. On November 30th, 2022, the Philadelphia Police Department announced they had identified the child through the use of genetic testing and investigative genetic genealogy. Authorities said that an investigation would use the new information to continue for the search for the suspects. On December 8th, 2022, over 65 years after the boy in the box was discovered, he was identified as 4-year-old Joseph A. Zarelli. Despite the identification, the exact circumstances leading to the 4-year-old Zarelli's death are uncertain, and the case is still considered an open homicide investigation. Once again, you can use this case that shows you that you should never give up. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, please call the Philadelphia Police Department at 215-686-8947. Welcome to the state of Alabama. The Doe Network has 90 females listed as being missing from the state of Alabama. Case 2. Welcome to Fairfield, Alabama. Missing female. It was on August 1st, 1980 is when 32-year-old Mja Jean Dumas, a black female, went missing and vanished without a trace from Fairfield, Alabama. It was on that day the 32-year-old Dumas was last seen by her parents. Dumas stopped by her parents' home to make shopping plans with her mother and sister the following day. The 32-year-old Dumas left with her estranged husband to buy shoes for their infant daughter. The next day, Dumas' sister arrived at their residence and found the baby naked and crying on the floor. The sister noticed a strange smell in the home, later described as possibly being ether. The 32-year-old Dumas' bedspread and keys were missing from the house. Police questioned Dumas' estranged husband. The estranged husband told police he dropped off his 32-year-old wife and their baby off at their house and stayed less than 30 minutes. The estranged husband was told by his wife that she had dinner plans with her ex-husband. Police spoke with the ex-husband. The ex-husband said that 32-year-old Dumas never showed up for dinner. The ex-husband said he called the 32-year-old Dumas numerous times throughout the evening and early morning hours, but never reached her. The family and friends of the 32-year-old Dumas haven't spoken or heard from her since her disappearance. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, the disappearance of 32-year-old Mja Jean Dumas, please call the Fairfield Police Department at 205-783-6024. Welcome to the state of Arkansas. The Doe Network has 37 John Does listed as being found in the state of Arkansas. Case 3. Welcome to Beebe, Arkansas. John Doe. It was on April 20th, 1989 is when a decomposing body of a 18 to 60-year-old white male was discovered with several gunshot wounds under a bridge in Beebe, Arkansas. The victim went unidentified, so he was given the name of John Doe. John Doe was located in a rural farming area under a bridge in an area that is actually deserted. Where John Doe was dumped did not appear to be the actual crime scene. There was no evidence of a ritual act, no jewelry or chains, and no billfold. There are clues that seem to indicate the man was not local. It's even possible that John Doe is not a citizen of the United States. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, please call the White County Coroner's Office, Coroner David Powell at 501-268-7220, or the White County Sheriff's Office at 501-279-6279, or the Arkansas State Crime Lab, Chris Edwards at 501-227-5747. Welcome to the state of Indiana. The Murder Accountability Project and Project Cold Case report that there are over 7,205 unsolved homicides in the state of Indiana. Case 4. Welcome to LaPorte, Indiana. Unsolved homicide. It was on February 24th, 1987 at about 3:30 p.m. is when 10-year-old Linda Weldy exited the school bus in front of her home. The bus driver and the other children saw the 10-year-old Weldy walk towards the family's mailbox like she did every day. Then the school bus drove off. The 10-year-old Weldy had to walk about 250 yards down a curved gravel driveway to her home, which was hidden by trees. On that day, the 10-year-old Linda Weldy never made it home, and she was never seen alive again. On that day, two people were in the Weldy's front yard putting up a TV antenna. At the same time, the 10-year-old Weldy got off the bus. These two people saw nothing and heard nothing. At first, there was no concern, for the 10-year-old Weldy had a habit of going home with friends from the school bus, having to be home by dark. When the 10-year-old Weldy wasn't home after dark, her family got worried, and family and friends search took place in the area with no positive results. That evening, at around 11:30 p.m., the mother of the 10-year-old Linda Weldy reported her daughter as missing to police. Each lead was pursued, which were all dead ends to the location of 10-year-old Linda Weldy. On March 17, 1987, some 22 days later, the lifeless body of 10-year-old Linda Weldy was found by a farmer on an abandoned railroad right-of-way near County Road 500 South near Kingsbury, Indiana, which at the time it was a dirt road running beside the railroad tracks. The young 10-year-old Linda Weldy was a victim of a homicide, being strangled to death. Police state that people of interest have been developed over the years, and most recently others have either been added or taken off the list as possible suspects. Law enforcement has looked at several suspects, including family and friends, a motorcycle club member, and a suspected serial killer, Larry D. Hall. But there has never been an arrest in the case. Law enforcement announced that evidence previously tested, along with new evidence never tested before, will be turned over to the Indiana State Police for laboratory analysis. They are hoping that better technology can produce DNA leading straight to the killer. At this time, there has been no update on the further DNA testing. The Crime Podcast, the Cold Case Chronicles, done an in-depth investigation of the Weldy case, which produced multiple episodes, which are several interviews with people involved into the investigation. They are amazing. Please check them out. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, the unsolved homicide of 10-year-old Linda Weldy, please call the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office Detective Bureau at 219-326-7700. Welcome to the state of California. The Doe Network has 708 males listed as being missing from the state of California. Case 5. Welcome to Cedar Grove, California. Missing male. It was on August 19, 1975 is when 66-year-old Fred Lincoln Gist, a white male, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Cedar Grove, California. On that day, the 66-year-old Fred Gist and 3 friends went on a multi-day horseback hiking trip within Kings Canyon National Park. Fred Gist was last seen at the 9,000-foot level of the canyon. The group had gone further than they had planned on the first day. When the Cedar Grove packer, who was hired to bring supplies to them, arrived by mule, he advised them to backtrack several miles to an area where the horses could graze. The 66-year-old Gist was too tired to go back and told the group he would spend the night at that location and they could pick him up the next morning. The 66-year-old Fred Gist was left with some food rations and a light poncho. The group returned to the grazing area with Fred Gist's horse. The following morning, the group returned and 66-year-old Fred Gist was not there. But they found traces of a campfire, a small pile of trash from the food he had eaten. The men continued their trip, expecting to catch up with the 66-year-old Gist. 2 days later, they arrived at their destination and reported the 66-year-old Fred Gist as missing to police. A multi-day search and rescue, aided by dogs and a helicopter, uncovered no sign of the 66-year-old Fred Gist. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, the disappearance of 66-year-old Fred Gist, please call the National Park Service, St. Croix, and Kings Canyon, Matt Smith, at 559-565-4228. Welcome to the state of Colorado. The Doe Network has 17 unidentified female Jane Does listed as being found in the state of Colorado. Case 6. Welcome to Walsenburg, Colorado. Jane Doe. It was on August 10, 1999 is when a 30 to 45-year-old female's skeletal remains, with her race being unknown, was discovered in a secluded area on Road 610 outside of Walsenburg, Colorado. The female skeletal remains were never identified, therefore she was given the name of Jane Doe. Jane Doe's race could be white or Hispanic or Native American. The estimated date of death is somewhere between 1997 to 1999. But the cause of death was ruled unknown, but due to the circumstances, the case has been ruled a homicide. A man discovered the woman's skeletal remains located in an old abandoned refrigerator in a secluded area on the road of 610 in the general vicinity of I-25. This discovery came about when the county sheriff's office received a letter dated August 10, 1999 from a man in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The letter writer stated that he come upon the remains while walking through the area 3 weeks before. The man indicated that he found a refrigerator lying on its side with the door partly open with what which appeared to be skeletal remains. A deputy was then dispatched to the scene. After further investigation, law enforcement located a scapula and a jaw, as well as additional bone fragments within 100 feet of the refrigerator. The trash in the refrigerator, a Philco brand, was dated 1988 to 1992. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer of this Jane Doe, please call the Colorado Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Kevin Kobeck at 719-647-5999 or 719-647-5990. Let's take a pause for the cause, and when I return, I will profile 6 more unsolved cold cases from the deep freezer. Be back in a moment. Welcome back to our MJ podcast, this series, Cases from the Deep Freezer, Episode 8, Part 10, 12 Unsolved Cold Cases. Welcome to the state of New York. The Murder Accountability Project and Project Cold Case report that there are over 30,316 unsolved homicides in the state of New York. Case 7. Welcome to Allegheny, New York. Unsolved homicides. It was on February 6, 1978 at around 3 a.m. is when 30-year-old Stephen Bender and 29-year-old Michael Forness was found murdered in the lodge of the Wing Hollow Ski Resort in the town of Allegheny, located in western New York. It's been over 48 years since the 30-year-old Bender and the 29-year-old Forness was found murdered in the lodge by a co-worker. The 2 victims died as a result of multiple gunshot wounds. The 30-year-old Bender and the 29-year-old Forness were 2 nighttime trail groomers at the Wing Hollow Ski Resort. The case remains open and unsolved, but family and friends and law enforcement are still looking for answers. The New York State Police still field calls and receive tips on the case, even today. Police believe the 30-year-old Bender and the 29-year-old Forness had come into the lodge up the slopes after a grooming vehicle broke down. The evidence states that the 2 men walked in on burglars chiseling away at the safe set in concrete in the floor of the office closet. The burglars successfully removed the safe where it was missing, along with over $18,000 in cash. The killings were execution style. Both victims were shot 3 times, including once in the back of the head. About a month after the killings and robbery, the 170-pound empty safe was recovered beneath a bridge over the Allegheny River. The safe was sent to a Canadian lab in hopes of identifying the tool the killers used to cut a hole in its side. Police released composite sketches of 2 of 3 men seen in the area where the safe was dumped. Police have said they believe more than one person was involved in the killings and robbery. There were promising leads throughout the years, but the leads always ran cold. At one point, police even offered immunity in exchange for information when some 400 suspects were rounded up in an unrelated sting operation in Erie County, Pennsylvania. No one offered any useful information to the case. Robert Stevens, a youth offender, was arrested on other unrelated charges, but it has become known that the 2 offenders had broken into the Wing Hollow ski resort before. Law enforcement tried to tie these 2 offenders to the crime, but nothing was ever found to link them to the killings and robbery. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, the unsolved double homicides of 30-year-old Stephen Bender and 29-year-old Michael Forness, please call the New York State Police at the Olean Barracks, 518-373-2550 or 518-373-2552. Welcome to the state of Florida. The Doe Network has 301 females listed as being missing from the state of Florida. Case 8. Welcome to Highland City, Florida. Missing female. It was on November 14, 1970, is when 25-year-old Mary Margaret Cook, a white female, went missing and vanished without a trace from Highland City, Florida. The weekend of her disappearance, she had backed out of a camping trip with her parents and siblings, saying that her husband had called to say he was coming home. The 25-year-old Cook reportedly went on a shopping trip to a retail store in Lakeland, but never returned home. Cook's husband reported his 25-year-old wife as missing the day after her disappearance. The 25-year-old Cook's 1959 white Cadillac was found in the store's parking lot. The 25-year-old Cook's wallet was inside the car, but $200 her husband allegedly gave her was missing. The 25-year-old Cook never took off her wedding rings, but yet the rings were found at the house. Cook's oldest son recalls arguing and his father's stern orders not to look outside. The son believes that his mother's body may have been wrapped up in a red blanket which his father retrieved from the house. The 25-year-old Mary Margaret Cook has never been found, and no one has ever been charged in her disappearance. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, please call the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Detective Matthew Newbold, at 863-298-6834. Welcome to the state of Georgia. The Doe Network has 124 John Does listed as being found in the state of Georgia. Case 9. Welcome to Blue Ridge, Georgia. John Doe. On March 23, 1995, the skeletal remains of an unknown male, maybe between the ages of 49 to 65 years old, with the race being unknown, was located in Blue Ridge, Georgia. On that day, the skeletal remains were found in a woods off a Ridgewood Drive around a partially dug grave, along with wrappers from a cigarette pack, a cigarette, and a shirt. John Doe's torso, one or more of his limbs, and one or more of his hands were not recovered. The cause of death is unknown. It was estimated that the skeletal remains could have been at the location up to 45 years. The John Doe's name could be Freddie Akers. The file goes on to say that the male dead victim visited truck stops in Georgia, Texas, Oregon, Missouri, and Arizona. The dead male victim owned his own rig and went by the CB radio handle BA, or Bad Attitude. You would think with the trucker network, this John Doe would have been given a name by now. The unknown dead victim may have been a member of a motorcycle gang. But at this time, the skeletal remains haven't been identified as Freddie Akers. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer of John Doe, please call the Fannin County Sheriff's Department at 706-632-2044. Welcome to West Virginia. The Murder Accountability Project and Project Coldcases reports that there are over 958 unsolved homicides in the state of West Virginia. Case 10. Welcome to Oak Hill, West Virginia. Unsolved homicide. It was on February 20th, 1986, as when 13-year-old Teresa Ann Woods, a white female, went missing and vanished without a trace from Oak Hill, West Virginia. It was on that day that the mother of the 13-year-old Woods dropped off her and her friend at school. It was also noted by the mother the 13-year-old daughter didn't want to go to school that day. Each day after school, the 13-year-old Woods and her friend would walk less than a mile to where Woods' mother worked to get a ride home. But not on February 20th, 1986, the 13-year-old Woods found herself walking alone, which Woods would have taken her 20 minutes to get to her mother's office. On that day around 3 p.m., a witness saw the 13-year-old Woods leaning against a pole at the 7-Eleven gas station parking lot. Another witness seen the 13-year-old Woods up on Main Street where she got into a blue car. The question remains, who was driving the blue car and where were they going? This was the last known sighting of the 13-year-old Teresa Woods. At 4:30 p.m., when the 13-year-old Woods failed to arrive at her mother's office, the mother got worried and contacted her husband. The family of Teresa Woods combed the streets in the search of the 13-year-old Woods. At 5:30 p.m., the missing girl's mother called the West Virginia State Police to report her 13-year-old daughter as missing. 4 months. Family and friends searched the area, finding nothing. 13-year-old Teresa Woods vanished without a trace, with no leads to follow. On June 5, 1986, in the shallow waters of Laurel Creek, two fishermen stumbled upon human skeletal remains. Found at the scene were several items belonging to the 13-year-old Teresa Woods. As a result, as tips of red hair led investigators to believe that they had found the missing girl. It would take several days to confirm that 13-year-old Teresa Woods had been found. Investigators are withholding the cause of death, but there is enough evidence to rule the young girl's death as a homicide. Never knowing who committed such a heinous crime against an innocent young girl still has the town on pins and needles. If you or anyone you know has any info concerning this case from the deep freezer regarding the murder of 13-year-old Teresa Ann Woods, please contact Crime Stoppers at 304-255-STOP. Welcome to the state of Pennsylvania. The Doe Network has 72 males listed as being missing from the state of Pennsylvania. Case 11. Welcome to Coopersburg, Pennsylvania. Missing male. It was on June 30th, 1979, is when 16-year-old Robert Keck, a white male, disappeared and vanished without a trace from Coopersburg, Pennsylvania. At 1 p.m. on that day, the 16-year-old Robert Keck was last seen walking down Coopersburg Road towards the town of Coopersburg. The 16-year-old Keck planned to visit his girlfriend's house, which was located about 2 miles from his home. Robert Keck never arrived as expected, and the 16-year-old has not been heard from again. The 16-year-old Keck told his mother before he left their home that he expected to find a ride with someone later on in the day. Keck's family members told authorities that Keck often received rides from friends or walked to his destinations. The 16-year-old Keck didn't have a driver's license or a learner's permit at the time he vanished. The 16-year-old Robert Keck did not have a history as a runaway, and nothing was amiss in his life at the time to lead investigators to think the 16-year-old Keck left on his own. The 16-year-old Keck was not carrying any money at the time of his disappearance. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, please call the Upper Sascon Township Police Department at 610-282-3064. Welcome to the state of Wisconsin. The Doe Network has 13 Jane Does listed as being found in the state of Wisconsin. Case 12. Welcome to Caledonia, Wisconsin. Jane Doe. It was on May 8, 1982, when the skeletal remains of a 45 to 65-year-old white female was discovered off a country road near Highway 78 and I-90 and 94 in Caledonia, Wisconsin. On that day, a passerby discovered the female victim's skeletal remains some 60 feet off the roadside outside of Caledonia, Wisconsin. It was determined that Jane Doe died from blunt force trauma to the head about a year before being discovered. At the time, there were no missing person reports in the southern Wisconsin matching the Jane Doe. Investigators believe Jane Doe may have been dumped at the location. On September 1st, 1987, the skeletal remains were buried as a Jane Doe. On April 21st, 2014, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, with the assistance of the FBI, reopened the case, and Jane Doe's body was exhumed in hopes of collecting DNA, which was successfully obtained. Investigators believe Jane Doe and her killer may not have been native to the area where she was found. If you have any info concerning this case from the deep freezer, please call the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, Coroner's Office at 608-742-4166, extension 3302, or 608-697-3266. I would like to thank our viewers and listeners for tuning in, for you all have been so kind. I have a quote for you all. As a police detective, there is no greater honor than to be assigned to a homicide of a child. Garland, Texas Detective Gary Sweet. Always remember, folks, that if you ever get bored with nothing to do, well, take a walk deep into the woods. You might be surprised at what you might find. That's the end of our MJ podcast, the series, Cases from the Deep Freezer. This has been Episode 8, Part 10, 12 Unsolved Cold Cases. And we say to all of you, good night from the camp in Morrisonville, New York, located in the Adirondack Mountains.
All my friends are heathen, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. Welcome to the rooms of people who have rules for people that they love one day docked away. Just because you check the guns at the door doesn't mean the brains will change from hands grenade. You'll never know a psychopath sitting next to you. You'll never know a murderer sitting next to you. You'll think how we get here sitting next to you. But after all I've said, please don't forget. All my friends are heathen, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. We don't deal that size very well. They say newcomers have to turn slow. You've trust issue not to mention. They say they can smell your intention. You'll never know a freak show.